Number 6 in our post-spring Big Ten power rankings, the Illinois Illini. We're lower on them than most. Okay. I mean, we've seen a lot. We've seen them as high as number 8 in like post-spring top 25s. I mean, really no lower than like 13, 14, 15. So they do have a ton of returning production, but let me ask you a question. Who was the most experienced offensive line in the country heading into last season? You remember we talked about this a lot.
LSU.
LSU, yeah, but I'm thinking of Oklahoma State.
Oh, yes. You're right. They had like a bunch of 6th and 7th year seniors last year at Oklahoma State.
And I'll never forget what old Doug Barton told us. He said, that's fine. That's great. They got all that experience, but maybe they're still in college because they're not nearly good enough to go pro or to transfer anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Maybe these dudes at Illinois, I'm not making accusations. Illinois fans, calm down. Maybe they're average players, like they're good college players, but they're not difference makers that are going to win you ball games and get you to that upper tier of the Big Ten. Now, a solid case could be made, right? Am I wrong here? A solid case could be made. Is Luke Altmaier the best quarterback in the Big Ten?
He could be. As far as returning production going into the year, he could be. I mean, I know that we talked about this kind of a couple months ago, and we were talking about who's the best quarterback in the Big Ten from a returning production standpoint going into the season. You know, some people said it was Altmaier, some people said it was Aller. Depending on what you look, some people said it was possibly even Fernando Mendoza. But Altmaier's really good, man. He's been solid as a rock for Illinois. That was a huge gift that they got, man, getting him from Ole Miss. I love, too, that they talked about that there were a few SEC programs that were coming after him hard this offseason, trying to get him to transfer, and he said absolutely not. That he was sticking with his boy Burt and sticking with the Fighting Illini. And I love Luke Altmaier. I love his toughness. That performance he had in Nebraska on the road on that Friday night, dude's just tough as nails, man. And accurate as can be. He was a quarterback. I think he could have a big year for them, obviously. And the fact that you said he's got all the returning production that he's going to have just on the offensive line. I mean,
they are losing some production at wide receiver, though. They are.
And they lost Josh McCray, their top running back, to Georgia. So skill position-wise, they did lose some. They did. He's got his big uglies up front that are going to be back.
Caden Fagan's back at running back.
Yep. But from an overall talent perspective around him, he did lose some. I like what they added in Hudson Clement, wide receiver from West Virginia. Yep. Most people, if you're a one of those guys that just loves to watch every single bowl game that there is, like we like to do, we like to throw a little change on some of these bowl games. The dude went off in their bowl game. He had like 11 catches for like 170 yards receiving in their bowl game against Memphis. So I'm sure he'll be solid for Illinois this year. I think what jumped off the page for me when my study here, man, on the Illini was the fact that obviously this goes back to Burt Bielema and how well coached the Fighting Illini are, is they were 5-1 last year in one possession games. And dude, their lack of mistakes. They didn't turn the ball over a lot. They forced turnovers. They're ranked pretty high in like lack of penalties. They weren't very penalized. So when you don't turn the football over, when you're not racking up a bunch of penalties, and that helps when in one-score games. Yeah. That doesn't shock me that they were 5-1 in one-score games last year.
Yeah, I hate to do it. Just consider me skeptical on Illinois this year because it seems, if you remember a couple of years ago, everybody was high on Texas Tech, right? That was the team they were. I'm starting to get that vibe from them, and if 5-1 in one-score games, that kind of can throw some red flags too. Like if a couple of those go a different way, your record looks a little worse last year. We watched them against Penn State last year, weren't competitive at all. And then nobody even talks about this, that one of those one-score games they won was against Purdue, like 50-49 or something like that in overtime. And, that's just that it gives me red flags for the Illini this season. But, I mean, we've talked about it. Bielema, such a better fit at a school like Illinois, kind of like Wisconsin, but than he was at Arkansas.
Yep, agree 100%. I think that obviously if you're an Illini fan listening to this, you got to be ecstatic, man, that going into the season, all these rankings that you see coming out. But obviously, man, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm a little skeptical about him too.
Yeah.
Like I know they've got a lot of returning production, but you hit the nail on the head there. Normally, you see teams that one score games. They have so many one score games one year that I mean, we're talking about just one or two plays are the difference in the outcomes of the games like that.
Yeah.
If one or two plays go a different way, then that's obviously like we're not talking about Illinois right now being one of those like top 20, top 15 type teams like a lot of these different services have. But I do believe in Bielema. I'm pulling for him, man. I think it's awesome that the Illini and Bielema's doing what he's doing there. But
You'll pull for him until it affects Bama in the CFP rankings.
maybe so, man.
Yeah.
Maybe so. But I do like what they have in returning production standpoint. I love Luke Altmaier. If I think the defense is going to be fine. That was one of the things that they drastically changed last year from the previous year. The defense was much better last year. They returned almost all of their production in the secondary from that defense that they had last year. I mean, if you ask an Illinois fan right now, let me ask you this. Do you think if you ask like a normal, just sane Illinois fan, 8-4, would you be happy with that? Do you think that they would say yes?
I think they would.
They
mean,
should.
yeah. I mean, knowing their track record, obviously similar to. I mean, they've had better success historically than Indiana, obviously, but like past decade or so, it hasn't been bright in Champaign. I think they would take 8-4. I mean, they've got a couple of tough games, in the first month at Duke and at Indiana. So I think they would take 8-4. But again, the hype train keeps rolling in the offseason. And the more hype they get, those not sane Illinois fans are going to somehow be disappointed with an 8-4 season.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with 8-4, 9-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, by the way, they're absolutely good enough this year from a returning production standpoint, coaching staff, and the quarterback position to be 8-4, 9-3, or maybe even 10-2 in a playoff. Me and you don't think that they are that, but I do see why people are saying that from their schedule perspective and what they are returning from a production standpoint.